FM Música. Nacional 101.7, Crisol 106.9 FM, Radio Nacional 840 AM, junto a Ser TV y Meduca presentan Conéctate con la Estrella. Estamos comprometidos con la formación pedagógica de la niñez panameña.
Conéctate con la Estrella, es el proyecto de todos. Y si cantamos a coro todo el mundo. Edúcate, edúcate, edúcate. Conéctate, conéctate, conéctate. Somos el futuro de la patria.
Welcome once more to your English class here at Conéctate con la Estrella. This is your teacher, Reynaldo Mannings, and I'm happy once more to be here with you. Today we're going to have another interesting class, even though it's like a continuation of another class we had before, because we're going to I wouldn't say we're going to go deeper, but we're going to see another aspect of this topic. Today we want to speak about how to avoid pollution, to conserve nature. And weeks ago we spoke about environment and the different situations, what was environment and how we could help protect the environment. But today we're going to speak about how to avoid pollution. How to avoid pollution to conserve nature. So it's like a continuation. It's like adding a little more to the next topic we had before. Why is this topic so important? Because today we need to understand that we need to take care of our environment. We need to take care of nature. We need to take care of our home. Because if we do not do it, we will disappear. Got that? We will disappear. We will be extinguished. So we need from younger ages, we need to start making good decisions. Decisions that will help us in the next 5-10 years. And it's important for you that listen to us and that watch us, if you're in high school, taking consideration that you will be one of our leaders, you will be our next president in 10-20 years, you will be our senators, represents, mayors, doctors, engineers, businessmen. You're going to be the ones that going to be in charge of the country and of the world. So you need to understand the importance of this. So if our generation are not able to do something quick, your generation would be the ones to do it. So the objective of this class is to learn how to avoid pollution to conserve nature. So your students will learn how to avoid pollution and at that point conserve nature. So let's start with a question. And more than a question, is a fact. Did you know that the average person eats 70,000 70,000 microplastic each year. Yes, we, you, me, eat, they, we eat 70,000 microplastic each year. That means we are eating plastic. Yes, we are eating plastic. You, we are eating plastic. So we need to stop the ocean plastic pollution because we are eating that plastic. Imagine that the fishes in the sea, they are eating plastic. They are getting tangled into plastic. Okay? And after they eat the plastic, we fish those fishes and we eat the plastic. Well, we actually eat the fish, but the fish have as plastic inside them. So we are eating plastic. Okay? We are eating plastic. And if we start eating plastic, we are damaging our organism. We are contaminating our organism. We are spoiling our organism. And at that point, we are going to get sick. Okay? And that's the reason why a lot of people have all of these new strange sickness, because our body is receiving things that should not be there. Okay, so our vocabulary, today vocabulary is going to be kind of funny, and this actually is done with the application where you ask people to tell you, give you answers. For instance, my question would be, when you hear the term climate change, when you hear the term pollution, and what you think about? What you think about when you hear pollution? What you think about? Well, in our exercise, we got a words like a energy system, natural gas, a climate change impact, a renewable energy, carbon sequestration, a greenhouse gas emission, biodiesel, a global warming, carbon capture, greenhouse gas, methane, climate change, adaptation, reforming reaction. You have a list of words related to pollution that could come to our mind, and we need to take in consideration that those words of this new vocabulary are actually the words that are related to all of this situation. So we need to do something about it. All right? So let's continue. So my big question here is, what is pollution? What is pollution? And many will give an answer, different answers, but at the end, pollution occurs when substances are put into the environment that destroy living organism. That means every time something go into our environment that should not be there, contaminate, pollute our environment, and therefore will destroy living organisms like we. So we need to avoid those substances into the environment. But what kind of substance are these? Well, there are 4 different types of pollution. Okay, there are 4 different types of pollution that I can mention today. We have air pollution. Most likely, air pollution is all that pollution in the air. We have water pollution. That would be all that pollution in the water. Land pollution and noise pollution. Everything that contaminate the air will drop into this category, air pollution. Everything that pollute the water will drop into the category of water pollution. Everything we throw, add to the land, to the ground, will be called in this point land pollution. And finally, there's another pollution that maybe many years ago it was not considered a pollution. Noise pollution. And because noise is also a pollution because it affects us. And anything that affects us is a pollution. It's part of those that need to be minimized or avoid. And noise is one of those. Our environment is in danger. Yes, our environment is in danger. Oh, yes. The worst part of it is that we are breathing. Yeah, we are breathing and eating the pollution. We are destroying our only home. We are destroying our only home. And we destroy our home, we will have nowhere to live. So, believe me, we need to work on saving our home and minimizing or raising this contamination. When we speak about air pollution, there are actually 2 ways the air could get polluted. Naturally, yes, naturally. And naturally is like when a volcano erupts, it will throw gases. Or when it hasn't erupt, but you see gas coming out. That is contaminating, polluting our air. When it's a fire, a natural fire, not provoked by someone, it also pollution. And when you provoke it, it most likely is a pollution as well. Just not naturally, but it is. We need to avoid the air pollution, especially when we are part of the reason why the air is polluted. When we breathe in that polluted air, it's easy for us to start suffering from our lungs, and we start having breathing a sickness. Yes. So we need to avoid it. Many people, especially in Panama, suffer from asthma. And in a polluted environment, a person who suffers from asthma is in danger. And the ones that do not suffer will be in danger. When we speak about water pollution, we contaminate, we pollute the water of our city, of our country. How? Well, when you dump garbage in the street, that garbage, then when the rains come, the garbage go flowing, go into the soil, go to the sewer, or go to the different pipes, and at the end it reach to the river. And when it reach to the river, then it continue to the sea. And when you notice, you see it's contaminated, it's polluted. We have many rivers in Panama that are polluted. I believe the most famous one is Matasnillo, that is polluted big time. So we need to avoid throwing things in the street. We need to avoid throwing things in the rivers. But not only we as individuals, but companies that, for instance, construction company, they need to make sure all that cement and things don't go into the pipes. Industry, sometimes they have to dump oil or certain oil, petroleum, oil, whatever. They need to sit and say, hey, we cannot continue contaminating that river. And we cannot forget the ones that pick up garbage and dump or dispose at the wrong place. For the reason they decided. I'm not going to judge them. So we have seen different type of pollution. How can we help to stop this? How? Can we stop it? Can we minimize it? How? Or how can we do it? Well, there are many solutions. Oof. Ooh, yes, there are many solutions. The thing is, sometimes we don't want to do the solution, or we don't want to use the solution because we consider it affects us at a certain point. Let's look at this document, this picture, and it say we're supposed to start investing in energy efficiency, power generation. The one we are using today is affecting our environment. So we can start using new equipments, new vehicles, in order to minimize the amount of gas, the amount of oil, the amount of different things that nowadays is not, we don't use them, we don't buy them because we consider it's not necessary anymore. We need to improve domestic industry and municipal waste management. That means all that garbage that today goes to Cerro Patacón, we need to make new decisions so that garbage, something can be done with it. Maybe moving it to another place, maybe using the waste and converting it in something that could give us money, or sell the garbage or give the garbage to a private company that would decide to do something with it. We could do that. We can make greener and more compact cities with energy efficiency building. That means we build a building, and that building use different energy than the others. A cleaner energy. We can start using more bicycles instead of cars. And if we use more bicycles instead of car, we have less contamination, less air contamination. What else can we say? Well, and let me get this and read it. Say, provide universal access to clean, affordable fuel and technologies for cooking, eating, and lighting. That means they could create special price for solar energy or for wind energy. At that point, we use less car, so it's less gas, and many other things we're going to use less, just because we are starting to use water. Or we're starting to use solar panels. Say, reduce agricultural waste, incineration, forest fire, and certain agroforestry activity. We know our friends in certain parts of Panama that their living is agriculture. Instead of burning the grass, we find a different way to cut it. Instead of using pesticide, we use a natural pesticides one that won't affect our environment. Now, what we could do? What else? It says, build safe and affordable public transport system and pedestrian and cycle-friendly network. If we have an efficient transportation, many people won't use their car. If many people are not using their car, otherwise from traffic jam, lowering, we're going to have a better environment, because what they are using is minimize the use of gas, and maybe minimize certain jobs because it might not be useful. So that are ways that we could help. Those are solutions. More solutions. Let's go with mitigations. Action to reduce emissions that cause climate changes. So sustainable transportation. Instead of using gas car or diesel vehicle, we're going to start using electrical cars. But as mentioned before, the system need to provide a certain support, so you can go and buy that electric car that is more expensive. We can use clean energy. Have you traveled to Coquel recently? Well, not even recently, a year or two. There's this fan. Yeah, I call it a fan because they're full. And anytime, not anytime, when they add those fan, it create energy. But that movement create energy. But that movement is only effective when you're aligned. So we have that, and we also have the bulb. Yes, the bulb for the house. Okay. We use the ones that are proven to be beneficial for our consumption. Then you have on the other side actions to manage the risk of climate change's impact. So we create a disaster management and business continuity. We create, in this one we don't create yet because you have to go to a review, but announce with flood protection. And we also have the infrastructure upgrades. But otherwise from these, there are others. You name them. At the end, we're going to help our climate. Water conservation, new energy system, local food, education, complete manufacturing, complete communities, and urban forest. Okay? Good. Let's continue. So, we have seen a couple ways to help our nature. Let's jump into a couple easy ones. Planting a tree, reducing, recycling, and reducing. we plant the tree, because when we plant the tree, it gives the area a giving like strength, giving power to continue supporting. And they're supporting their beliefs. They need to plant a tree. So, trees help to improve air quality. Actually, like observe. Trees remove harmful pollutants from the air. As I mentioned before, it pick it up. Tree planting improve wildlife habitat connectivity and support biodiversity. So you are a environmental friend, this is for you. So we also can recycle, reduce, reuse. We use a lot of plastics. So we can recycle those plastics to use again. We can reuse plastic articles. We could reduce that actually is wait for the you what you do when you reduce. It's not that you're not going to continue using it. You got to reduce the amount of time you use it. Like before, you used to have to pay for the supermarket bags. Today, you remember to keep it in your car. So when you go to the supermarket, you don't have to pay 10, 20, 25, 15 cents, 35 cents, whatever. So you reduce the amount of the plastic waste. And we recycle items that could be melt, destroyed, and rebuilt so far. And we reuse, well, we actually reuse the ones that we're not going to do nothing with them. I brought this kind of chart about other ways of taking care of our environment. And here you notice a picture of a sewage. The sewage is where all the garbage goes. And you notice it passed through a screen, then it passed to a tank, then it go to water reactor, then secondary sedimentation tank. Good. But not only this, because behind that, you have to remember that he owes a payments. So we start from the sewage, then it go to the screen, then it go to the sedimentation tank, then it go to the A2 reactor, then it go to a secondary sedimentation tank, then it go to disinfection equipment, natural water, primary sludge, so let's check and see. Let's continue with this. It say that after it reach to the disinfection equipment, it go back to the sea. But filter and we throw garbage, we throw waste. That's so interesting. And at the end, they use that energy, or they use that garbage to create a vehicle. They create a vehicle with the garbage. Okay. If you notice this, it's a complete process where the garbage into the water is moved through different stages, where they clean the water, when they replace the water, when they did everything with the water, and then they invite or they add a planting to the menu. Okay, so let's continue. Wow. Should I or shouldn't I? And this is the complicated part of this class. Should I and shouldn't I? What we're going to do now, we're going to try to create statements using should I or shouldn't I. Okay, we're going to try to create statements. But before we start creating statement, I need you to see the screen, to see this this design, this page. Because from this page we're going to create statement using should and shouldn't. Okay, so look at the different boxes and see which one you would like to answer. Okay, so I'm going to start reading them one by one. It say, always use paper on both sides and make use of scrap paper whenever possible. Always use paper on both sides and make use of scrap paper whenever possible. Okay, so if I want this statement to be presented by a different person, I can use a different approach. Or if it's available, we could create it. So let's try to work on it. Always use paper on both sides and make use of scrap paper whenever possible. We could say, you should always use paper on both sides and make use of scrap paper. You should always use paper on both sides and make use of scrap paper whenever possible. Next, plant a leafy tree in your neighborhood and water it regularly. Plant a leafy tree in your neighborhood and water it. You should plant a leafy tree in your neighborhood and water it regularly. Next, save water by taking shorter shower and use least possible water while washing hands and brushing. That means when you go to the bathroom, if you want to support, if you want to help, you should have the pipe off while you're scrubbing or you're placing soap on your body. And then when it's time to rinse, then you turn on the water. Or when you're washing your hands, try to don't keep it on. When you're brushing your teeth, try to don't keep it on. All right? That's a way of saving water. That's a way of protecting our environment. Then we have use biodegradable products wherever possible. That means if you go to the supermarket, buy these bags that are biodegradable, and at the end they're going to disappear and will be bingo. All right. So next, avoid plastic bags. Avoid plastic bag. Bring your own cloth bag. So at that point, you should avoid plastic bags. And you should bring your own cloth bag. You should bring your own cloth bag. All right? Okay. Good. Next, never waste food as it's precious, made with natural resources. Never waste food as it is precious, made with natural resources. Next, use cycles when traveling to nearby places. This will reduce pollution. Yes, you might have a car, or when you have a car, you want to use it. But remember, it is contaminating our environment. And since it's contaminating the environment, you use bicycle. Most likely if you're not going far. Okay? So, the environment is important for our survival, and take care of it should be a concern. Should be our concern. Should be. Remember, we use should when we recommending something. So, we should reuse, and the meaning of reuse is to take the bottle that was used, that we finished using, and that we were going to dump it. So we take it and we recreate it. So we do something new with it. We could create a pencil case. We can create a bottle. We can plant. We reuse the item. Next, we reduce. What we reduce? With the amount of water we mentioned just a while ago. We try to reduce the smoke of the different companies. We reduce the contamination by recycling, by dumping the plastic in a certain bag, and then they will filter it. Recycle, well, we know that recyclers are already taking things, and whether we're going to reuse it or we're just going to dispose it is a great option to take care of our country. So, wow, this has been it for today. Hopefully, you were able to understand and take in consideration each one of the recommendation I gave, so you can help us take care of the environment. You can help us be the future word savers. Okay? So, my friends, I'm getting ready to, you know what? I'm really getting ready to leave. I'm getting ready to say later because it's almost time. It has been a pleasure to be with you all again. We will be here next week once more with another interesting English class for you. Meanwhile, continue practicing your English, continue practicing things you have learned. Remember, we're going to use should to recommend an action. You should wait for me next week in order to listen to our English class. You should do your own work every day so you can get good grades. I'm Teacher Mannings and I'm happy to be always with you. I'm sad right now because I have to leave, but I know you will be with me again next week. So, my friends, see you later. Alligator. Take care. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye.